less than 2 weeks to the presidential election, leaders of some regional groups have announced the endorsement of the PDP presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, as their preferred candidate. The leaders of Ohaneze and Igbo, Northern Elders Forum, Pan-Niger Delta Forum, Middle Belt Forum, and a faction of Afenifere who announced their decision at a press conference in Abuja today, said the decision follows a series of meetings with the presidential candidates in the past month. According to them, their choice of Atiku Abubakar is born out of the belief that he has better plans for Nigeria. Our correspondent Terry Ikumi reports.
As pre-election activities approach a climax, with the 2019 presidential election less than 2 weeks away, hardly a day goes by without endorsement of candidates, especially the two main political parties, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and the All Progressives Congress, APC. This gathering of leaders and elders from the 6 geopolitical zones of the country is to adopt a consensus presidential candidate.
Many of us have served this country for between 40, 50, and in some cases even 60 years. And nothing could be further from the truth. For some of us being accused of frustration.
With strong accusations against President Muhammadu Buhari, the President General of Ohaneze and Igbo states the position of his people.
Today, we have a head of state who has reminded us so much of our ethnic and religious differences that he has put our national security in serious jeopardy.
Ohaneze has chosen Atiku Abubakar.
The success of this election, the election of Atiku Abubakar, overwhelmingly will demonstrate to you that there's a future in Nigeria.
For each speaker, there is a different reason for their decision.
We had to subsume our interest to the national interest. The candidate of the People's Democratic Party, in the person of the Waziri of Adamawa, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, is our collective candidate for this election.
The Northern Elders Forum, which I lead, is in complete agreement that a new leader should emerge, and that new leader should be Atiku Abubakar.
The president single-handedly breach the constitution and appoint the Chief Justice of Nigeria and install his own liking. So I join others, and on behalf of the people of the Niger Delta, Atiku is our presidential candidate.
In reaction to the endorsements, the National Publicity Secretary of the APC, Malam Lanre Isaonilu, however insists that most of the bodies are factionalized. Therefore, their endorsements will have no effect on President Buhari's re-election bid. He states further that the 16th of February, which is just days away, will determine the impact of these endorsements. Terry Ikumi, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, the PDP flag bearer Atiku Abubakar says he was moved to tears by the endorsement of leaders from the geopolitical zones. Alhaji Abubakar, in a statement, says that it is a loud statement that there is hope for the country as we go to the polls. In his words, quote, "Today, we put aside all our prejudices to elect a president with religion and ethnicity playing no role in our elections. I profusely thank our leaders across the country who have created this wonderful moment for us to come to the table of brotherhood." End of quote. The former vice president added that if elected, he is determined to lead a pan-Nigerian team that will give practical interpretation to what has been done and will promote an inclusive Nigeria based on productivity. Elsewhere, the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, believes that it is the party to beat in the forthcoming elections based on the party's performance in the last 3.5 years. The national chairman of the party, Mr. Adams Ashomole, told Channels Television that the Buhari government has largely lived up to the expectations of Nigerians on some of the promises it made in 2015.
Boko Haram started
under PDP, precisely under President Olusegun Obasanjo. It heartened under President Jonathan. The argument is to what extent has this government dealt with Boko Haram? It started under PDP. But for your information, as a former member of the National Council of State, when I was governor of Edo State, President Jonathan did tell us, with all the service chiefs present, and they confirmed one after the other, that he has lost 28 local governments to Boko Haram, who still flagged the 28 local governments, and therefore requested that election be postponed, because it is impossible to conduct election in 28 local governments. That is not the situation today, Shehu. As a result of a new commander-in-chief, we still have security problem. Don't let me sound as if I'm justifying the level of insecurity. No, it is work in progress.
So would you still stand on the fact that this government has technically defeated Boko Haram?
I believe that there is still a lot to be done to completely eliminate Boko Haram. And I also believe a lot of progress has been made by this government in curtailing the power of Boko Haram. Those who are going to vote for us, they are not going to do so because they think that the problem has been solved. They see honest intention by a president that cares. Nobody will compare Buhari to Atiku. Those who knows Atiku, who know what he stands for. This is the only time that PDP will be going to an election without being in control of the armed forces and the police. So they will have to win every vote. And if you know what is going on in some PDP states where they have state governors, the way in which they try to misuse the police, it tells you that they are panicking.
Atiku is not a threat to the AP?
No. It's the best thing that has happened in this election.
Really?
The day PDP selected him, we were happy.
And for the full interview with Mr. Oshomole, join Channels Television at 4:30 p.m. tomorrow, Monday, the 4th of February, on the one-on-one interview. The national leader of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has put to rest the impeachment saga which had dominated the polity in the last 1 week in the state. Speaking after a peace meeting brokered by the APC leadership in the state to end the rift between the governor and lawmakers, which was held at Lagos House Marina, Mr. Tinubu says the conflict between the governor and members of the State Assembly had been amicably settled.
There's no question of impeachment in Lagos State. Let the two institutions, the two arms of government, communicate and continue to respect one another and build consensus and understanding. That is all about politics. Conflict and conflict resolution mechanism is inbuilt in any political system unless leaders are slacking in their responsibilities. We thank the Speaker and the entire member of the House of Assembly leadership. We thank the governor and the deputy governor who had demonstrated firm respect for the party leadership in Lagos State. When Lagos sneezes, the rest of political equation catches cold. And we are very happy that we are able to resolve amicably with the deputy speaker, all of them put together, that things will start to run smoothly in Lagos, both the House and the government.
The River State Governor, Nyesom Wike, is raising an alarm over plans by the federal government to use the Code of Conduct Bureau to intimidate 200 judges of the High Court and the Appeal Court with trumped-up charges already marked by agents of government. According to the governor, he intercepted the conversation of a federal minister who boasted in a gathering that now that the Supreme Court has been dealt with, the High and the Appeal Court are next. Governor Wike, at a service at the Greater Evangelism World Crusade today in Port Harcourt, explained that the Nigerian Bar Association may have shot themselves in the foot unknowingly by not following through on the Ohaneze situation and similar alarms raised, insisting that it is a threat to the judiciary and the nation's democracy. Staying with politics, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, took its campaign train to the palace of the Alaafin of Oyo and for his royal blessings and prayers. Addressing the party supporters, the monarch urged the governorship candidate and the party to sell their manifesto to the people to gain their confidence ahead of the election.
The motorcade of the People's Democratic Party in Oyo State arrives at Fijio local government area to seek support of the people ahead of the general elections. The governorship candidates of the party, Seyi Makinde, gave out souvenirs to the teeming supporters amid cheers. Moving from Fiditi to Jobele in Ilora towns, the PDP leaders meet with stakeholders in the community to seek their support.
The work ahead of us, if you look at the manifesto, we're talking about accelerated development. So accelerated development means wherever we can get the brain to assist us, that is going to be our focus. It's not looking at the past.
The team later moved to Oyo town to pay homage to the traditional ruler, the Alaafin of Oyo, His Imperial Majesty Oba Lamidi Olaiwola Adeyemi III, who admonished the PDP to proclaim their manifesto to the people of the state to gain their confidence as the election approaches. The team thereafter addressed the crowd of supporters, calling on them to translate their show of love to votes for the party at the polls. The People's Democratic Party continues its tour of all the local government areas in Oyo State, canvassing support for its candidate, Seyi Makinde.